This video contains multiple stories. Let's hear story number 1. My wife, 48, left me 2 months ago to figure things out for herself. My wife Mary's family has a history of dementia, with memory problems starting in their mid to late 50s. Her mother, grandmother, and a few other relatives from her mom's side have been diagnosed with dementia. Her mom stayed with us for 4 years until earlier this year. Her father has passed away. Our children are grown and no longer live at home. The oldest is finishing her last semester of college, while the younger one has enlisted. The past 4 years have been challenging for us. Our daughter went to college but returned home for a while during COVID, and it affected our marriage too. Living with someone who has dementia is tough. We discussed a lot over the past year about using the remaining college funds, our savings, selling or renting the house since we were planning to downsize, quitting our jobs, and traveling for a year or until the money runs out. We had to wait for her mom to go into a home. I get her worry about dementia, and I was really exhausted. During COVID, I worked remotely while my wife did the same. We had a college student and a high school student taking classes online, and we also cared for a family member with dementia. It was a challenging time for all of us. Space finally opened up, and we moved her mom into a care facility. I thought I could finally breathe. After we helped Mary's mom move out, Mary's mental health declined significantly. I transitioned from looking after her mom to looking after her. She struggled with guilt over placing her mom in a care facility and was anxious about the possibility of getting dementia herself. We planned to begin our travels in the summer of 2024. 2 months ago, I came home to find a note. My friends refer to it as Exhibit A. She was going on the trip without me. She quit her job, took most of the savings, and didn't know when she'd return. Could be a year or even less. She was confident I would get it. Her location is disabled, and my calls go straight to voicemail. I sent the kids a picture of the note. We each have our own checking accounts for our paychecks, but we transfer most of it into a joint account to cover household bills and savings. We both could use the main savings account. We share credit cards for household expenses. The cars and mortgage are shared. We each have our own small savings accounts, retirement accounts that are equally funded, and separate credit cards for gifts and fun activities. I shut down all joint cards and accounts. I waited a month to see if she would return, hoping it would be before she used up our savings. I got just one text in the first month, so I decided to see a lawyer. She mentioned there wasn't much to do at the moment, except change the beneficiaries on my retirement accounts and life insurance. Great, my wife gets nothing else if I die alone while she's off having fun. It had been just a month, and I couldn't find a way to serve her the papers. My lawyer told me to continue paying the mortgage and the car loans. The expense of getting a judge to approve the sale of shared assets was higher than just making the payments. I didn't want to damage my credit by having one of our cars repossessed, but I can't sell it since she's on the title. I receive random texts from her, and she occasionally posts on Instagram, but she has comments disabled. I really want to block her, but my lawyer said it's best to keep a communication channel open that doesn't involve our kids. Her most recent update was from Hawaii. She commented on how great I was for allowing her to take this trip. I'm struggling to pay for 2 cars, a mortgage, bills, and insurance, just hoping nothing goes wrong since I have no savings while she's having a good time on our trip. I'm really angry with her. I took care of her mom for 4 years and supported her when she struggled after her mom went into a memory care home. Now, she just leaves me behind. I can't take this trip, and now I have to delay retirement. The only comfort I have is that the kids are angry with her, but they will likely forgive her in time. Double F her. I'm not naive. She's seeing other guys. She looks great. She'll have no trouble attracting men. I sent her a message asking if she was seeing anyone else. A week later, she replied that she wasn't. Okay then. I'm sitting here with a drink on a Friday night while she's out there, likely on a beach, having a good time. She got the triple F treatment. Edit. My lawyer provided a lot of advice and options. It was too much to include in this post. I could push the issue more, and I might have to later, but that work costs a lot. Locating her, delivering the papers, getting a judge's approval, that costs a lot. I will follow up soon to discuss my savings and finances. It wasn't until I settled all the bills that I noticed how little I had left. That's when it struck me that I needed to be concerned about money. Let's see some comments. Comment. Expressing gratitude for the trip is her way of saying that once she's done with being single, she'll return to the safety and comfort of being married. When she comes back, I'll say welcome home. Here are your walking papers. Reply. She definitely believes she's returning to a marriage. She talked to our daughter a few times and thinks I will get it and forgive her. Comment. Let your daughter know that you're filing for divorce due to abandonment and see if that helps you move forward. I usually don't support involving kids, but they should be on your side for this. Consider letting her know that she might be cut off too if she continues this behavior towards you and the family. Consider sharing how she's enjoying her life and informing your friends and family about the difficult situation you're facing. If you're not actively steering the real story, people likely think you're in agreement. Reply. She only listens to what she wants to hear. I requested her to provide an address so I could serve her the papers. She just said, we'll figure it out when she gets back. I doubt it. My daughter explains the pain she's causing, but she just responds that she only has 5 to 10 years left until she gets dementia. We can't predict if she'll get dementia, but isn't it better for her to be with her family right now? Update 1. Here's an update from my original post. I'm feeling a lot better now that my financial situation is a bit easier to handle. I'm accumulating debt that I plan to pay off once I sell the house. I have about 6 to 8 months of financial cushion left, even with lawyer fees, as long as nothing unexpected comes up. A friend's wife shared some valuable advice with me. Don't turn from a hero to a villain in your child's view. The way I communicate with and treat my wife will shape my future relationship with my children. I don't care about my wife, but I don't want to make her look sympathetic or push them away from us. I talked to a lawyer. She said we will make her pay back the savings she took by reducing her share of the assets. Any division of assets will include the savings she took. She will need to pay back the money I used to take care of the household while she was away. She has enough equity in her part of the house and her retirement plans to handle that. She mentioned that after almost 25 years of marriage, our finances are so connected that my wife will receive a portion of the assets. Ideally, she accepts the divorce terms, making it an easy and affordable process. It can become tricky and costly. She provided several options and an estimate of costs, so I chose to mostly wait. I have a few credit cards with promotional rates for purchases and transfers. This helps me manage my finances and save cash. I'll pay them off when I sell the house. With my finances in a better place, I'm finding it easier to appreciate her absence. I can do anything I want, anytime. I don't need to cook, clean, or look after anyone. The house is silent like never before. I cared for my wife, but her mental health challenges affected our marriage. Overall, it has been worth it so far. At first I thought she would always be there when I got home. Whenever there was a knock at the door or I heard sounds, I would assume it was her. I kept checking the doorbell camera over and over. I dread her coming back. It needs to happen. When she returns, I'll have to handle her, the divorce, preparing the house for sale, splitting our belongings, and finding a new place to live. I'm wishing she'll stay away until after New Year's, but my daughter thinks her mom will be home for Christmas, either to stay or just visit. My lawyer is preparing the papers to serve her. Hopefully, she will just accept the terms and keep traveling. People shared some solid advice. Renting or selling the house isn't practical at the moment because I need to fix some things and prepare it for sale or rent. Given my monthly income, the costs of rent, mortgage, or renting a new apartment, along with a storage unit, just don't add up. My kids' rooms are still packed with their things, and I really don't want to take the time and energy to clean them out and store everything. Getting a helicopter was great advice. I didn't know I didn't need both people to get a loan. If I want to make extra cash, I can take this route. In the short run, the promo rates on the credit cards were more affordable and simpler than obtaining a helic. Serving my wife divorce papers or getting a divorce without her present is something I might have to consider eventually, but the lawyer fees increase significantly in these situations. I'm fine with just waiting for now. Check the phone bill to find out her location and where she might be headed. I checked her usage and saw that she only posts on social media after she leaves a place. She posted about Hawaii and then made a call that day from Los Angeles. She shared a post about a cruise, and I looked up the dates. I thought about serving her at the port, but it turned out the cruise ended a few days before her post. She attempted to add international calling to her line, but I blocked it, so she took her phone off our account. Let's see some more comments. Comment: change the locks on the house. This way, she can't just walk back in when you're not home. I feel really upset for you. I've been married for 23 years, and if my husband did this to me, anyone in the way better watch out. Reply: she forgot her keys. I updated the code for the security system, including the passphrase and password. I discovered a new spot to hide the emergency key we kept in the backyard. That's it for story number 1. Let's hear story number 2. My fiancé is thinking about leaving me for an open relationship with his coworker. I, 24, had been with my fiancé, 27, for 4 years. He proposed to me on my birthday last year. I believed our relationship was strong and that nothing could break us, but I was mistaken. He usually lets me use his phone or games since my phone is messed up. He has been acting distant lately and gets annoyed when I ask for his phone. We're transparent about our phones. If either of us wants to check for trust, we're both fine with it. I thought maybe he was planning something for my upcoming birthday. A few days ago, he asked me if we could consider opening up the relationship. This surprised me, since he's never been physical or emotional with anyone else but me. I told him I felt uneasy about it, but he kept going on about how it could help us grow emotionally by seeing other people's views on improving our relationship. I kept saying no and that it didn't feel right. I only wanted to be with him. He has been trying to persuade me for the last day, but I stood my ground. He just shrugged it off and went for a walk for a couple of hours. I cried a lot when he left. It made me feel like he wasn't loyal. Unfortunately for him, he had left his phone on the kitchen counter, so I decided to take a look. I was shocked to see my biggest fear. He had been messaging a coworker, let's say Kim, for a few weeks. Messages saying, "I love you, let's plan a date." I cried and kept reading. I noticed they were trying to figure out how to leave me or start an open relationship. Since the open relationship plan didn't work out, they began suggesting that he should break up with me so they could be in an open relationship together. This really hurts and has me feeling upset. I expected him to stick by my side no matter what. I have a 6-year-old daughter who has really loved him and sees him as her dad. I feel devastated and let down for both myself and my daughter. She was set to be our flower girl, wearing the prettiest dress, and now I need to explain everything to her. I can't believe this is happening, and I just can't stop crying. I'm doing my best to stay strong for her, but it's really tough. I'm sitting here, watching my daughter play with her dolls and the TV on. My fiancé is upstairs gaming. Right now, I'm focused on what to do next and being there for my girl. Edit. I appreciate all the support I've received in just a few hours. Thank you, everyone. I'm following the advice I've received, and I intend to leave. I'm planning to put all his things outside while he's at work and cut him out completely. I have a few questions that I need to clarify. A few days ago, he sent me messages asking to open the relationship, but I said no. I should have made it clear that for the last day, he kept bothering me about opening the relationship. It was my mistake when I wrote this. I felt really upset. After he asked me the first time, he told Kim what I said, and Kim responded that I should just leave at this point, etc. He believed it was important to keep trying to persuade me. That was my mistake. It was mainly Kim who said he should go. Some people might be puzzled by him leaving his phone behind when he left. We live in a spacious rural area. When he needs to blow off steam, he usually heads through the backyard and into the woods a bit down the yard. I didn't feel the need to check his phone because I trusted him back then. He often went out to clear his head or something. I apologize for any confusion caused while I was writing this in a difficult moment. Thanks again. Update 1. My last post got a lot of attention, and I want to thank everyone for the kind words, messages, and advice. I'm not getting back with him. Last night, while he was sleeping in our bed, I messaged his sister, who he doesn't get along with, and told her everything. I even sent her the screenshots. She apologized a lot and offered to help me pack up all of his things and get them out of my house. I got this house from my grandfather after he died. Tomorrow he goes into work, and that's when I'll pack all of his stuff and send him out the door. I talked to my daughter this morning, thanks to everyone who was worried. I went to Starbucks and told her that we were going to separate. I explained it to her more casually, but this is the gist of what I said. She seemed really upset, but said she gets it. Sometimes things just don't work out. She hugged me, and we shared hot chocolate and cake pops. I didn't explain the reason for the breakup, just mentioned that it wasn't meant to be. Today, we have just been playing and having a good time. I cried when we got home. She kissed me on the cheek and said, "I'll always love you, Mommy." I'm crying tears of joy because I'm so grateful for my amazing little girl. Apologies for any confusion in this post, if there is any. I'll update when everything is finished. For now, I will focus on my daughter and enjoy some laughter and playtime with her today. Update 2. Hi everyone on Reddit. I apologize for not posting an update yesterday. There was a lot going on. I want to express my gratitude for all the support. It truly means a lot to me. I didn't think any of this would get so big. I've seen a few TikToks, so I'm really surprised. Here's the update you've been waiting for. At around 6 a.m., after my ex left, I sent a message to his sister and some friends to help me move his things out. They arrived after I put my daughter on the bus for school, around 8 to 9 a.m. We entered and took everything. He packed all of his clothes, shoes, and other things into boxes and set them outside. We finished up around 2 p.m. He doesn't have much, and the things I bought that aren't clothes, I'm keeping to use as I want. Once we finished, his sister mentioned that their parents were ready to react after hearing what went down. I had created a group chat with his family while we packed, and to say they were furious would be putting it lightly. I emailed his boss and the HR member. Each department where he works has an assigned hour member. They expressed their gratitude and mentioned they would take care of it properly. Then the show starts, and I see his truck pull into the driveway. He looked angry. He exited the car and slammed the door, yelling at me for his own mistakes. Fortunately, 2 guys stepped in between us, so he didn't do anything. He yelled at me and his sister, calling us witches, and kept shouting that he was just trying to make our relationship better. I told him I didn't want to hear anything from him. I just wanted him to leave. He sighed and then began asking where my daughter was so he could talk to her. I didn't mention that my dad picked her up instead of taking the bus home. I informed the school and the bus driver ahead of time. I told her that he wasn't talking to my daughter, and I want him out of here. He got angry and charged at me, but my friends held him back. That's when I decided to call his parents because I knew he wouldn't leave without a fight. They arrived and began yelling at him, claiming they didn't raise him like this and that he would now be officially disowned. That means he was excluded from the wheels and everything. He threw a tantrum on the ground like a child. He was stomping and screaming, saying I couldn't do this to him and that he still loves me. I said, I don't care, just go. In the end, his parents told him to pack his things and go. As he was leaving, he said, I swear I'll be back. I couldn't help but laugh and then went back inside my house. I'm in the process of getting a restraining order, and I really hope I never have to see him or his partner again. My daughter is with my parents for the week to make sure she doesn't see anything she shouldn't if he or his partner comes back. Nothing has happened yet. I just got a new security system installed, along with a Ring camera. If something comes up, I'll share another update, but I hope it's nothing negative. Update 3. Hello everyone. I apologize for not providing any updates. Things have been really stressful lately. I appreciate all the kind messages. It really makes me happy to see so much support for what I'm going through. My ex hasn't tried to reach out, but a few days ago, his new girlfriend, who works with him, showed up at my door banging on it. I didn't respond, and since my car was in the shop, she probably thought I was away. Honestly, it was pretty frightening. Many of you have suggested that I should install an alarm system and set up cameras around my house. I totally agree that I need to get started. I'm searching for a job, and until I find one, I can't pay for an alarm system. I also don't have anyone to stay with me and my daughter. Currently, the The money in my savings is allocated for groceries, bills, and other essentials for me and my girlfriend, and it's getting low. I'll keep you posted if anything changes, but for now, I'm focused on getting through this financial issue. Update 4. Hello everyone. It's been some time, and I apologize for not providing any updates. Thank you to everyone for your kind words. My daughter and I are doing well and feeling great. Recently, I started a new job that pays well. I sold my old home and moved away. I stayed close so my daughter could still visit her grandparents. It's a relief that she will still be attending the same school. She is currently watching Bluey and having lunch. Some of you might be curious about my daughter's feelings lately. She's doing well now. I realized she was upset, so my mom helped me get her into child counseling. She really loves her, and my daughter sees her as a best friend. Fortunately, I haven't encountered my ex, which has been a relief. My girlfriend and I feel safe. I've heard from mutual friends about what's been happening with him, and it seems like karma really got to him. Recently, he and his girlfriend broke up because she ended up pregnant, and he didn't want any responsibility for the child. He works at a fast food place, earning very little, and can only pay for a tiny, cramped apartment. He seems to have gone back to drinking and is smoking more these days. Since he lost his job, his life has gone downhill. Overall, everything is fine and life is good. I might not update this again since the story is wrapping up, but if anything changes, I'll make another post. This is where the story concludes. I appreciate all the support. It's surprising how much joy internet strangers can bring.